Hey guys, good morning and welcome to another episode of Behind the Closed Doors. Today, the workshop Small Spaces with a new model. Join us for today's episode of Behind the Closed Doors. Chewy, are you ready for it? Yes, he is. And today, it's a nice day. Okay, today the workshop Small Spaces with our new model Lisanne, a Miss Beauty, so that's gonna be awesome. Small spaces, a lot of students and a lot of the photographers use it as an excuse. I don't have a big studio. Today we're gonna prove that you don't need a big studio for awesome shots. And we actually built a new stage. Look at this. Well, it's not done yet. We still have to put the walls in, but that will be a new part of our studio. So it's gonna be cool. Okay, set number one. Relatively complicated setup because we are using a small space, and the idea from this space was actually to show the attendees that when you can't place any strobes next to your model, what you normally do of course in a studio environment, how do you solve this? Very simple, by using directional light from the front, but with grids. So I used one softbox with a grid on the model, that was my main light source, and behind it was a big softbox for fill-in light. Now, what is fill-in light? When you only use that focus light beam on your model, it can be that the rest of the scene is a little bit too dark. By using a big softbox or an umbrella or whatever you want, 3 stops below your main light, you get this really nice moody atmosphere. In the end, we also added one snoot on the doll. Now, a set like this, you can of course prepare something like this, but in this case it just happened. I wanted to build a set, put a little bit of a prop in there, like in the back, and then we just started to build from there. Like, okay, we need a little bit more flowers on the side. Maybe we need something on the stove, or whatever you call it, a fireplace. And at one point we just thought, you know what, let's get that little buggy in there. But when you have a buggy in there, I went a little bit more extreme, like, hey, we also have a doll, put it in there. But the arms always fall off, so why not make something where also the legs fall off? And then you go like, maybe we make it a little bit more like a horror scene. Let's get a hammer or an axe. And that's actually how that whole set started. I know, sick minds somehow love horror movies. So that's actually how it started. It started as a fashion shot with just a beautiful dress and a small set, and we ended up with something from a horror movie. But hey, whatever. Go back to continue to scene number 2. Scene 2 may be a little bit more extreme in the setup. We're using a Lestolite panoramic backdrop, and we just closed everything together to make it really narrow. Now you can place a model inside there and just let her play with the sides, but that wasn't interesting enough. So I placed a disco ball on the back and used one snoot straight on the disco ball to create very nice reflections, and of course one strip light a little bit from above on our model. Now at first that didn't work at all because the model was nicely lit on her face, but the dress was way too dark. The cool thing about a strip light, and especially the Hensel strip lights, is that you can actually turn them very easily. So by just turning that strip light a little bit, we have a little bit more light on the dress, a little bit less on the face. And in this case it worked. We didn't need any fill-in light and it just worked out great. So a relatively difficult setup to do, but only 2 strokes. So it looks simple, but trust me, that setup was really tricky to get correct. Third setup is a little bit standard for us. It's like a little bit of motion, one gel from the side and one light source on the model. The thing is that we started out with just our model as a portrait, and then you have the beauty disc straight on our model. Now as soon as you start adding that accent light, you find out that you need more contrast. The image just screams for more contrast. So how do you get more contrast? You can move around your model, or you can move your light source. And in this case, we just move the light source to the side. You get a little bit of a split lighting. So if your model in the middle, one light from the side, one light from the side on the other side. And that just creates a beautiful look for this kind of stuff. And sometimes, if you're lucky, you get beautiful cheekbones over here and jaw lines. It just looks awesome. Adding a blue gel and a little bit of motion, for me, just completes the shot. And I just love that snakeskin backdrop, so it's really cool.
The one I've got, don't break my heart. Don't break my heart. Don't break my heart. Don't break my heart. Wanna tell you how I feel, instead of keeping it all inside. So hard with you, I don't know why. Believe me, boy, I've tried. When you're near me, my heart fills up with butterflies. And then you...
Now in the end we had a little bit time left and we decided, why not just use a box? It's the Small Spaces workshop, right? Use a box and just think outside the box. We had a clown suit and we just asked Lisanne, can you put on the clown suit? Yeah, sure, no problem. Sit inside the box, give her that disco ball, a little bit of a hat, and in the end I actually added Tweety and the dog. And it's not my favorite shot of the day. It's funny. Let me put it just this way. Lighting, very, very simple. One from the back, one from the front, and that's about it. Again, not my favorite shot of the day, but it's the shot that normally the workshops take until 4 o'clock. It was like a 3:45 and let's do one more. So we just decided to do this one. But I think some people might actually like it.
Remember, it's the only one I've got. The one I've got. Don't break my heart.
Okay guys, that was it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you like what we do, subscribe to our channel, leave comments below, and of course smash that like button, but most of all tell other people about our channel so we can grow. Do you want way more goodies, behind the scenes videos, behind the scenes photos, once a month photo critiques? Then join our Patreon. You are absolutely gonna love that. And if you're in the Netherlands, make sure you get my new book. It's been just released, and what I hear from all the people, it's pretty awesome. But hey, I only write something when it's really something that should be added to your library. So mastering the model shoot and now fotograferen op locatie. Or in other words, photography on every location. Okay, that's it. Weekend. See you again next week for Digital Classroom on Wednesday. And it's going to be all about small strobes with Nissin. So that's going to be awesome. And we're going to use that same set for some different effects. See you again next week. Bye guys.